Hey, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia and welcome to the biggest book haul you will ever see on YouTube. I have so many books. I haven't taken the thumbnail and I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I received so many books from a lovely subscriber named Charlie recently. If you saw, I unboxed all them books in a vlog, and then I also have purchased a small stack of books, very small compared to what's going on this side. I'm gonna start with the books that I purchased myself. I'm ever so grateful for this many books. If I made this video without including like a couple of the books, I would be upset. Let's get started. This is gonna be a long video. Grab a snack. First book I got here is More Than Maybe by Erin Hahn. I'm gonna lean over here on these nice stack of books. Here is a 90s musicians falling in love story, and favorite author Jen Bennett, one of my favorite authors, has blurbed this book. I love Erin Hahn's romances. This is her second. First one was great. This one, sure to be great. It's on my TBR this month. We'll see if I read it. Next up, I have a couple books I've gotten from thrift stores. I've been thrifting a lot. I have The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. This was like $1. It's like literally in perfect condition. And I've been wanting to try out Morgan Matson. One of my friends really likes Morgan Matson, but I just like never got on the train. So apparently her romances are really cute. I think this one is about a girl whose dad has like a political scandal, and so she has to like earn her weight and she ends up walking dogs. Then I have here Nice Try, Jane Sinner. Again, this was, I think it was like $3, and it is a perfect condition hardback. I was so interested in this book when it came out. I was really interested in this when it came out. It is about a community college having a reality show, I believe, and the winner gets a car. And I just thought it sounded so cool, and I've been wanting to pick it up, and then I saw it at the thrift store. I have here The Friend Zone. I actually started this book on my phone. I had the ebook of it, and it eventually expired, and I just ended up not wanting to read a full book on my phone, which happens, and I just never got back to it. But this is supposed to be a really cute romance. I mean, as you can tell from the cover, it looks like a really cute romance. I just know that the main character has a like dog accessory business, and what's quirkier than that? Okay, and then last for the books that I've purchased, I have one that was supposed to come in the mail like today, but it's not here. The Invention of Hugo Cabaret. I was just talking about this book. I talk about this book a lot because it's one of those books that I read before I was into reading, and it's like a huge chunky monster, but I really want to do a reread of it because it's so beautiful. It has amazing loads of illustrations, and I've just been thinking about this book a lot lately, so when I saw it, it was meant to be. I have here Imaginary Friend by Stephen Chbosky. This is a horror novel. It's big, it's got small font. Oh my gosh, Emma Watson blurbed it! This is about a kid who gets lost in the forest, and he's like gone for like years maybe, and then he comes back and he's all messed up, and it's weird forest things. I love forest things. I love weird forest things. And there's a book right there that I didn't put on the stack. Then I have another weird book. This is Middle Game by Shauna McGuire. I'm really excited to read this. I'm excited to read all of these, let's be honest. But this one especially because I heard it's really weird. It talks about twins, and that's about all I know about it, is that there's twins Roger and Dodger. My donkeys that I used to have were named Dora and Dodger, but he was originally named Roger. And so I was like, that's kind of iconic. Then I have here We Hunt the Flame by, this is an Arabian inspired fantasy, I want to say. I think the second book has either already come out or I saw it on NetGalley. But I've heard interesting things about this. People lived because she killed, people died because he lived. I think there's going to be kind of an enemies to lovers romance, probably a war. There's a castle. It's got all the good fixins to be a good, nice, solid fantasy. Then I have here Tunnel Bones. My bookmark is in it because you can see that I'm reading it right now. This is the sequel to City of Ghosts. I need to not get it confused with City of Bones. This is by Victoria Schwab. This is her middle grade series. Very spooky. Lots of ghosts and traveling around cool places. And it's super interesting, super great. I'm like halfway through it. Then I have here another book I'm about to read, and that is Fierce Like a Firestorm. This is the sequel to Wicked Like a Wildfire, which is a book I read like 2 whole flippin' years ago, and I really liked it. I mentioned it because like it was one of those books I don't talk about enough. This has a really interesting magic system that deals with like the 5 senses, and it deals with kind of beautifying things. Some of the characters do things with like flowers and making flowers, or like taste with like food. It has a really beautiful flowery writing style, and I do not remember how the last book left off, but I do remember it being enticing and intriguing. There's also romance. There's a really strong maternal connection here. And then I have here Virginia Woolf's Mrs. Dalloway. In this vivid portrait of a single day in a woman's life, Mrs. Clarissa Dalloway is preoccupied with the last-minute details of preparation for a party, while in her mind she is something much more than a perfect society hostess. She readies her house for neighbors and friends, and she is flooded with remembrance of the past, the passionate lovers of her carefree youth, her practical choice of a husband, the approach and retreat of war. And, met with the realities of the present, Clarissa re-examines the choices that brought her there, hesitantly looking ahead to the unfamiliar work of growing old. So this sounds a lot like a lot of Virginia Woolf's books. It's really introspective. It's a really short time period, and I just love how she writes characters, and I love really getting in their heads and really understanding the intricacies of their mind. Very English major of me, but then I have here 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. This is a cute holiday romance. My girl here just got dumped. She literally heard her boyfriend talking about dumping her while she was like in the other room. She's going to stay with her grandparents over the winter break, so they decide to set her up with 10 blind dates. Each one of her extended family is going to pick a date for her, and she is gonna go on it until New Year's, I believe. I love this. I love it has an Italian family in it. It's got friends to lovers. It's got like old friends. It's got a lot of cool things that I enjoy. Then I have here All the Bright Places. This is the little mini pocket edition. You know, All the Bright Places is one of my favorite books. The reason why it's not here is because I keep lending it out to people, but I saw that these little editions were coming out. I do have also the little edition of my favorite book, Anne of Green Gables, and I don't know the practicality of it, but I might do like a reading experiment where I like read this in public or something like that, or I just honest to God try to read it. If you want to see a video on these little, let me know. And I got here 2 of my favorite books of the year, which you can't see, but they're in this nice little bind up. They are Stargirl and Love Stargirl. Stargirl and Love Stargirl. I read these both not that recently. I think like April was recently, it's really not. And I fell in love with the character Stargirl and I devoured these. The movie is also really good. Then I have here Castle in the Clouds. This is about a young maid in a big house. Lots of secrets, lots of like rich people problems. I love it. I love that it's a reference to Les Mis. I love Les Mis. I need to watch it again. Next up I have Look Both Ways by Jason Reynolds. This is great. I love this book. I read this a while ago. It's a really, really short contemporary middle grade about all these kids' ways they get to school or how they get to the bus stop, following all these different kids and a little bit of snippet into their life. I loved it. It was great. I listened to the audiobook of this. I just flippin' love Jason Reynolds. Then I have here Dress Codes for Small Towns by Courtney Stevens. I really, again, don't know much about this. I think it's also a middle grade, and I think it kind of has a lot of themes dealing with feminism. And I know this is Books and Lala's like favorite book or one of her favorite books. So it deals with love, gender, and sexuality, which I feel like is a really fun time. Next up I have House of Dreams by Liz Rosenberg, and this is the life of Ella Montgomery. It is a biography about one of my favorite authors. Gosh darn it, I love Lucy Maud. She wrote Anne of Green Gables. Then I have here Only Mostly Devastated by Sophie Gonzalez. This is a debut that came out this year, one of my most anticipated releases, and one that I'm dying to get to. This is a modern day and gay retelling of Grease. I'm probably gonna read this really soon. I actually am gonna rewatch Grease with my mom. She's been dying to watch it recently, so I feel like that would be the perfect refresher that I can go into this one. Then I have here Tweet Cute, another one of my favorite books of the year by Emma Lord. Guys, I just got rejected for her arc of her next book. I love this book. It's a romance. It's great. You got a family rivalry. It's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but like Twitter wars and grilled cheese, and it's so good. Then I have here Anne of Green Gables. This is a really cool edition. This also is illustrated, I believe. I collect copies of Anne of Green Gables, so if you're saying like, yeah, Kia, you have a couple copies of this book, I'm aware. I like collecting different editions of my favorite books. Then I have here Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. I read Made You Up by Francesca Zappia and I quite liked it. And this is like her more successful book. I think it deals with a main character with anxiety. She has a web comic, I want to say, and she meets a guy who does like the fan art for her web comic. And they like don't know who's who. It's a whole little mystery. Then I have here Little Women. This is this gorgeous movie tie-in edition. I just love that this looks like the original book. And that is what I fucking love about this book. It also has pictures from the new movie directed by Greta Gerwig. I love Greta Gerwig with my whole heart. Greta, if you're watching this, hi, that's weird. 2, I'm literally in love with you and I just want to be your protege. We know I loved the movie. I actually did read the book, unlike fake fans. I read the book like last year. Then I have here Where the Watermelons Grow. This is by Cindy Baldwin. This is a book, again, that I started on my phone and then didn't want to finish because it was on my phone, so I'm so glad. Like, look how cute this little middle grade is. This is a hard-hitting middle grade because it is about a young girl coping with her mom having really bad depression. Then I have here The Lost Coast by Amy Rose Capetta. This is about gay witches. It's all I wanted. Literally all I've ever wanted. It's foresty, witchy vibes, witchy forests. I love them. I love witches. Then I have here Rainbow Rowell's Wayward Son. This is the sequel to Carry On, which I don't even own, but I liked it. This is the sequel. Very controversial. It's also becoming a trilogy now instead of a duology. I don't know how I feel about it, but these characters are such cinnamon rolls that I'm in love with them. I mean, my king. Then I have here Lucky Few by Catherine Ormsby. This is one of the few Catherine Ormsby books that I haven't read. It says 23 ways to fake my own death without dying. I don't know what it's about. It seems like a quirky contemporary that I'm into. And I love Catherine Ormsby. Then I have here Everything All at Once by Katrina Leno. I am dying to get to this one. It's something I've been thinking about a lot. This is about a girl whose aunt basically was the J.K. Rowling of the world, and she has recently died, and she left the young main character a list of things to do, or like a 10 things to do risk-taking list, and so it's coping with loss and also having this cool list element. And I love books about grief. Then I have here The Whisper Man by Alex North. Alex North recently came out with another book, so I gotta catch up on the... I know this is about a serial killer, and I love reading about serial killers. I love watching them. I am so fascinated by everything, and I think they kill children. And I have the audiobook for this, and I'm really ready to get spooked. Then I have here Meg and Joe by Virginia Cantra. This is a contemporary retelling of Little Women, and that's exactly what it says on the front. Meg and Joe are living in New York in an apartment. They got cool jobs. Meg's like a chef, like a food blogger, and Joe is a journalist. And I mean, Heartstopper Volume 1 and Volume 2. I'm obsessed with these, y'all. If you didn't watch my wrap-up, you wouldn't know, but these little babies got me through the month because, God, were they so enjoyable, so quick, over too goddamn soon. Then I have here A Girl Made of Stars. My lighting is kind of going dark. We're under a cloud. This is a book dealing with rape and sexual assault. So very, very deep. I'm hoping to get to this one soon because I think it's going to be a really important read. Then I have another Katrina Leno. This is You Must Not Miss. I really don't know what this is about. I know that it blends kind of fabulism, magical realism, contemporary, and that's some of the books that I've been really enjoying recently. The main character's name is Magpie. That's fantastic. Then I have here Geekerella by Ashley Poston. In this like companion series, it's called Once Upon a Con. It's like all these fangirl people. This is her first one, and people love this book, and I love a good Cinderella retelling. Then I have here Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. This is another Alice Oseman book. She wrote Heartstopper, and I am dying to get to this book. We've got an ace main character, we've got a podcast element, and I do think that it follows people after high school and they're not choosing to go to college or something. I have here Children of Virtue and Vengeance, again on my August TBR, sequel to Children of Blood and Blood. I'm out of talking. And then I have here Salt, Summer of Salts. Who hasn't heard of this book? Coastal Seaside Sapphic Witches. Then I have here Anne of Green Gables, Anne of Avonlea, and Anne of the Island, all in their really gorgeous 100th anniversary editions. I'm in love with these. I cried when I opened these, and I cry a little bit every time I see them. I love them. They are, again, replicas of the original copies. And then I have here The Blythes Are Quoted. This is Elle Montgomery's last book, and it's the last book in her Anne of Green Gables series. This actually was never finished, so I believe that this is one of those books that's been edited and kind of reworked and finished by another author. Then I have here Marilla of Green Gables. This is an imagining of what Marilla's life was before Anne came into it, like her teenage years and her young adult life, and I'm very excited to read this author's take on that. Similarly, I have Before Green Gables. This is a not canon prequel to Anne of Green Gables, and it's about Anne's life before she gets to Green Gables, as the title suggests. And then I have here Story Girl. This is again by Ellen Montgomery. Different story. This is, I believe this is about a girl who really likes writing fairy tales. Last couple of books, I have here Lovely War by Julie Berry. This is a book I read recently. It's centering around World War I. It's narrated by Aphrodite and the god of war, who I'm blanking on what his name is, and they're just basically talking about how love loves war. It sounds wrong, but I think it's right. Then I have here Unfiltered by Lily Collins. This is her autobiography, and I just really love Lily Collins, and I just think she's a really admirable person, and she seems like really genuinely like nice person. So yeah, I like reading biographies from time to time, or memoirs I should say. Her Royal Highness by Rachel Hawkins. God, did I love this book. I love this series so much. It's just a companion series. This is about a girl who becomes roommates with a princess, and she's a mean old little brat, and then they start a romance, and it's fantastic. I would have gotten really mad at myself if I forgot one book. I have here Winterwood by Shay Earnshaw. Spooky Forests. Those are all the books I hope that I have received / bought. Thank you again so much to my lovely subscriber Charlie. 44 books. Anyway guys, if you want to send me a book, want me to review it, my wish list is always down below. Want me to add your book into my huge stack of books that I don't know where to put. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I think I just keep doing bigger book hauls. If you like any of these books, or like you want to see reviews of them like faster than others, let me know down below. With that being said, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!